If you're watching this channel, you have probably played the hit Valve game called HalfLife once before. Heck, you may have even played through it twice. Or maybe even 3 times. Or if you have no life like me, you have probably beaten it over a dozen times. And if you're like me, you are probably already super familiar with the corridors of the Black Mesa research facility, and playing through it again might seem a little bit boring after a while. Yes, you got the urge to play the game again, but it's just going to be the exact same thing again for the 13th time. If you feel like that, then it's time we turn to mods. And oh boy, do I have a good mod for you this week. Because this week I decided to give the spotlight to HalfLife Extended. A mod that aims to, well, extend the original Half-Life by breathing more life into the game. Let's go and have a look.
LambdaGeneration.
This week's fanart of the week is a little bit different than usual, because LambdaGen user @GameCraft decided to craft a chum toad entirely out of laminated cardstock. GameCraft has way more of these kinds of papercraft models and they're all pretty rad. Do you want your rad artwork featured next week? Then post it in the fanarts category over at community.lambdageneration.com and maybe I'll talk about it next week. Avid viewers of the channel may have noticed that I have actually covered this mod before on All Things Lambda a couple of months ago. In that episode, I talked mostly about the latest media update at the time though, and I didn't really go into too much depth about the mod because there was just not much time for it. Not only has a new media update been released late last year, but this time I also have a little bit more time to cover this. So, what exactly is Half-Life Extended? And what happens to your favorite 90s first-person shooter once you install it onto your computer? Half-Life Extended is a mod originally started as Half-Life Improved by community member Cam Kablam and was originally revealed over on Game Banana on May 17th, 2021. Seriously, I understand why they moved away from Game Banana and started posting on ModDB. This site is kind of a mess. They later moved to ModDB for further, more in-depth updates. However, in the media update posted to ModDB on August 28th, it was revealed that Cam Kablam has left the Half-Life Extended team due to having conflicting personalities with the rest of the team members, leaving the reins of the mod in the hands of TRVPS, TRVPS, there we go, or better known on ModDB as Blusha. Blush. Half-Life Extended aims to improve the default Half-Life experience by introducing more NPC variety and diversity, opposing force weapons and enemies to the main game, new alternate weapons and enemies, and it also reintroduces cut content back into the maps while also adding new ones to extend the game. Oh, and let's not forget that the difficulty has also been raised here. There are already some examples on how they are planning to do all this and what it would look like in-game. When it comes to NPC variety, for example, the mod claims to have 21 heads for the Hiku Marines with 2 different skin colors to spawn with, which makes for 42 unique-looking Hiku soldiers you can come across according to an already outdated article. So this could very well be more at this point. And the same level of variety is also planned for the aliens at some point as well. When it comes to the maps, the team has been trying to merge as many maps as possible to get rid of a lot of unnecessary loading screens, while also improving these maps by adding more geometry and places to explore. Take this screenshot from the lobby of the Anomalous Materials lab, for example. I swear that room over there didn't exist in the original game. Some entirely new maps have also been introduced to extend the current chapters as well. One mapper getting so excited about all this that he messed up his sleeping schedule just so he could work on this more. Oh, and hey, the chum toad is actually functional now. According to this article, it can hop around and croak and distract enemies and everything. What a lovely little froggy. Now that sounds pretty packed, right? Well, maybe not as packed as Half-Life 2 Overcharged, but there is certainly a lot of new stuff being added for you to play with. And there are a bunch of media updates on this ModDB page that you can look at for even more content. The latest media update for the mod was posted in early December of last year though, so let's have a quick look at that one because there is some interesting stuff there too. Here we can clearly see how Office Complex has been changed for this mod. It looks a lot darker than in the original game and some different textures will be used. The Panther Eye has also been reintroduced in this chapter. Definitely a staple of any mod claiming to add cut content. Also, do those computers run Windows XP? The anti-mass spectrometer has also been revamped to have a little bit more detail. It has some new glowy bits near the laser. Almost kind of makes you hope that they're RGB. Then it would be the gamer mass spectrometer. Oh, that was a really bad joke. Apart from maps, we also get to take a look at some improved models for weapons. What's especially noticeable here, besides the adjustments, are the new glowy bits that can be fully animated. It makes these weapons feel a little bit more alive. The little screen on the RPG can even be turned off, apparently. We got some new janitor, construction worker, and factory worker models as well, which look pretty neat. My guess is that these will be found around the facility just like the scientists and security guards. And last but not least, there is already an SDK available for you to download so you can create your own Half-Life extended mods. It's a little strange that the SDK is already available for a mod that itself isn't even done yet, but it might have some interesting features in there for people who are looking to create a pretty unique Half-Life experience. Half-Life Extended looks pretty promising as a mod. It will definitely be a very refreshing experience for a lot of people when it comes out. However, I can't help but feel some of the same feelings that I had with Half-Life 2 Overcharged, albeit in a smaller form. Don't get me wrong, I love everything I've seen so far, but I just hope that everything they want to do have been carefully considered and implemented. I feel like the extra enemies could be really fun to have, but I don't want the difficulty to be increased just by dumping a load of different enemies in a room with you, if you know what I mean. That's kind of my worry here whenever a mod wants to add loads of new enemy types. Granted, this mod doesn't go as overboard as Half-Life 2 Overcharged though, so maybe my worries aren't warranted. And hey, a lot of people commented on the Half-Life 2 Overcharged video about how excited they are for that mod and how much they really need a breath of fresh air, and I can definitely understand that. Like I mentioned in that video, we really can't judge either of these mods until they're out, so let's wait for that before we're gonna jump to conclusions. So what do you all think of Half-Life Extended? Will it be good? Do you think it'll be too much? Let us know in the comments. I ultimately think this mod will definitely be really fun to play when it comes out, as long as everything is well balanced. Because just like all of you, I need a little breath of fresh air too sometimes.